Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 1294 for the 9th of September. So we're going to go to the, we're going to do clockwise direction, starting from Sumy, Kharkiv, and then along the Osk rivers fronts, and then the Donetsk fronts, and then the Zaporizhia fronts, and then the Kherson fronts. So that looks like a prawn actually, like, yeah, this is like a prawn, like, and then, oh no. Yeah, something like this, and then the prawn. So anyway, we go on to the Sumy front. There's nothing over the border regions. Looks like the Russians have given up trying to harass the Ukrainians. All the Ukrainians have given up trying to infiltrate into Russia because there is, I didn't mention this previously, I did see footage of Ukrainian special forces or DRGs or whatever you want to call it, commandos. They were captured within the forest in Bryansk. Probably this forest here, and of course I do not know exactly where it is in the forest. There is a firefight. The border guards actually took them down, captured a few, and then the Ukrainian soldier admitted that he's trying to attack railway tracks. And so maybe that was the reason why there was strikes in this sector, because of this forest. I believe I have mentioned this before, that the Ukrainians always like to penetrate through the forest regions, and this is one hell of a big forest over in the Sumy front. So this is Sumy, and over the Sumy front, Russian forces I didn't meant to do this sensitivity thing, every time, but every time I forget. So they take it like a soft promotion of Razer mouse. Anyway, they are like half Singaporean, so Min Liang, Min Liang, do you want to sponsor DPA? I need sponsors. Anyway, findings reported at Andrievka, the Oleksievka, Yunakivka, Marine, and Satki. So that's all. And if any one of you guys know Min Liang Tan or Tan Min Liang, the CEO of Razer, please tell him about DPA. Get him to to support DPA. I use Razer mouse. Oh no, I'm selling myself, I'm prostituting myself to an MNC. Anyway, that's it from Sumy front. We move on to the Kharkiv front. This Kharkiv, at the Kharkiv front, there is interesting naming of Velikan Posarivka. This is actually in the Sumy region, but this is part of the Kharkiv front, because this is in line with the rest of the Kharkiv front. So there is an attack in this sector. It could be just shelling by the Russians. It's reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. So so that's all. Moving to the rest of the Kharkiv front, we have fighting reported at Voschansk and shelling reported at Pokaliani. It looks like Pokimani, it looks like a streamer, stop simping. Anyway, that's it. That's all from the Kharkiv front. We move on to the Voronezh front. There is actually no reports at the Voronezh front. It went really quiet. We go on to the Kupiansk front. This is Kupiansk. At the Kupiansk front, we have fighting reported in Kupiansk, Petropavlivka, Stepanovoselivka, Kurilivka, Berchane. Shelling is reported at Blahodativka and Osinovo. So Osinovo is also known as Petrivka. So there is a lot of actions. A lot more actions around here. The situation in Kupiansk remains to be really quiet, despite it seems to be such a big battle with the Russians attacking into the north of Kupiansk. Maybe the Ukrainian claims that these are all just PR operations by the Russians. They send one guy running deep into the Ukrainian territory, take some photo, and then run away. I mean, it's not impossible because they can claim a lot of money in terms of military bonus if they are able to prove that they have captured grounds to the higher up. So motivations counts. So anyway, let's see how that goes. Over in the Borova front, this went quiet. There's nothing here as well. We go on to the Liman front. So actually it's a Osk Liman front. So Osk is over here. At the Oskil-Liman front, we have a fighting reported at Novo-Mikhailivka, Serine, Sandroholove, Drobyshebe, as well as Koloziazy and Zarishne. Russian forces have been geolocated on the verge of full capture of Zarishne, and fighting is reported at Torske. So I reported this in the frontline changes report, so I'm not going to zoom in and rehash again. And I just want to say this looks a lot like a rhino, right? Like this is just a rhino head, you know, but the horn got cut off, you know. And then yeah, you see this is the nose, the mouth. Yeah, this looks just like a rhino, you know. So anyway, yeah, sad rhino, like, you know, he missed his horn. So anyway, so we move on to the Liman-Siversk front. So Liman is over here. At the Liman-Siversk front, as mentioned just now, fighting is reported at Torske. At Yampil as well, Dronivka, Krihorevka, Srebrenka, Siversk, Vimka. Shelling is reported at Riznikivka, as well as Pazino. There's fighting reported at Pazino. Geolocation of Ukrainian forces. There's a tank that getting hit by FPV drone at Lysivka, very far away from the front line, was geolocated. So that's all. The pretty routine. I think nothing particularly stands out for me because of the lack of frontline changes as well in the past 24 hours. Yeah, there is not that much, you know, shocking things to say. Bakhmut front also pretty quiet, only fighting reported as Tupochki. And this is why, you know, there's a difference between daily reports and you know, when you combine days reports. When you combine the days together, things look a lot more intense. So, you know, I personally prefer do daily. Over in the Thorax front, so this is Thorax city. Geolocation of airstrikes. This is a FPV drone hit on the artillery, and then there is a airstrike on the Ukrainians. So there's two strikes here, geolocated, and there is fighting reported at Alexandrov-Shutine, Plishevka, Kolobambik, Katerinivka, Yablunivka, Stepanivka, and as well as fighting towards Berestok. Another geolocation here is FPV drone hitting a mother. The Ukrainian forces probably launched a counterattack or to try to open up the gap here, and they sent in the IFV. I love the Marder, the Marder. I think the Marder looks really cool, you know. Although the caliber of the barrel, you know, the gun is not that big, but it looks nice, you know, it looks nice. But yeah, anyway, that's it. We shall see how this goes. It is interesting to note the Ukraine still seems to have a lot of armored vehicle, so, you know, yeah. But also important to note the Soviet era, you know, Soviet type armored vehicle is a rarity nowadays in the Ukrainian side. I think there are tanks. I do see tanks, but no, the rest of it seems to be pretty rare. Though that just says a lot about, you know, how much forces have been attritioned on the Ukrainian side. We move on to the demonic rabbit or the evil rabbit. So the demonic rabbit is looking really demonic right now. So we have fighting reported at Petrovka. Shelling is reported at Priut. There's the first time there is shelling being reported over there. Fighting is reported over in Volodymyrivka. Fighting is reported at Novoshakove with Russian forces penetrating into it already for the first time. Fighting is reported at Vilne. And fighting is reported at Rudinske, Novoekonomishne, and of course towards Minohrad as well. Yeah, so the fighting seems to be largely along the line where the Ukrainians claim where the front line is. So let's see. This is probably where the firm line is. This is the firm line. Whereas the area here in the north, in the breakout zone, it remains to be pretty much very messy at this moment. So I think if the Russians do not have strong positions, eventually the Ukrainians are going to establish a firmer front line, and then, you know, we'll probably able to have some clarity. So let's see how this goes. Over in the Pokrov, the rest of the Pokrov front, so we have fighting report at Rodinsky as mentioned just now. So Novoekonomishne as mentioned, Minohrad. Fighting's reported over in Mario-Lyubivka, Promin, Sukiya, Lysivka, Novopalivka, Pokrov, Vivrove, Shevchenko, Kotliny, Udashne, Molodetske, and Muravka. And the Russian forces entered into Muravka. This is the first time in a long time some kind of frontline change is over in the western part of the Pokrovsk front. So maybe the Russians are now starting to make this push again over in the west, heading into the Dnipro-Petrovsk region. So something that we have been observing over in the Komar front. So yeah, things are getting a bit unusual into what the Russians are planning to do next. It looks like the breakout zone did not succeed in breaking out significantly. And yeah, maybe the Ukrainians have been very successful at holding back the Russians, and all the Russians are playing this this long game that that not make a lot of sense to most people. Like I mentioned before, long time ago in 2022, when the Russians first conquered Severodonetsk and Lysychansk, and then they pushed all the way, captured Bilohorivka, Zolotarivka, and then they were attacking into Kamyanske, Rihorivka, but they stopped. The Ukrainians were in full retreat. They were totally routed from this sector here, but the Russians never pushed further because all the contract soldiers need to go home. So the Russians are already very well known for always not take advantage of a routed enemy. So that is already very is pretty well recorded by now. So I do not know what the Russians planning to do. So let's just wait and see. So in the Komar front, Komar is over here. At the Komar front, this looks like a gorilla. This is the face, the eyes is over here, and then the ear. Yeah, the gorilla head. Anyway, the fighting is reported at Filia, Ivanivka, Zelenehai, Andreevka, Kletsove, also known as Iskra, Shifneve, Malievka, Komishuvaha, Sosnivka, Ternove. So this is pretty routine. Nothing stands out to me in this sector. As usual, the Ukrainians are the one that is talking about the ones in the inside. This Shifneve, Malievka, Komishuvaha. These are all Ukrainian reports. Whereas the Russians are talking about Sosnivka and Tonove. Although this one is mentioned by both, the Russians mentioned Sosnivka. So the front line here probably is pretty yeah, maybe there are Ukrainian forces that are still in the rear positions as the Russians just overrun them, just go around them. So that is possible. This front line here, I think, is already a static line. By the look of it, this looks like a static line, very similar to the Pokrovsk, Minograd, southern front lines situation. For many months, that has always been a static line. So this northern area here looks like a static line, which means the Russians do have certain intentions to just stick to the Donetsk, Dnipro-Petrovsk border. The Russians seems to be willing to just hold the line and not push into that sector of the Dnipro-Petrovsk. Because yeah, it's unrelated to the rest of the operations. I think the sector here does have some implications because of the fighting for the Zaporizhia region. So which is why they probably wanted to do this push. That is a possibility. The rest of the Huaypole sector and the south of the Koma front, there is fighting reported. So Toneve just now is mentioned there, Novo Mykolaiivka and Novo Ivanivka. So that's Komishuvaha. So the rest of the front line at Huaypole has went quiet. The Ukrainian report did mention a place called Ohievka, but there is no Ohievka in Koma front. There's only Ohievske. So maybe there's a Russian attack here. But they say Ohievka, then so I didn't map it in. So there's also certain place I cannot find. Like there's a place called Ruch in the Pokrovsk front. I also they have been mentioned for a long time. I also never find that place ever. So yeah. So there is some mysterious places where I have no freaking idea where is it. We move on to the Zaporizhia front. Huaypole already mentioned there's nothing there. There's nothing over in the Orikhiv sector. There is, however, continued fighting at the Kamyanske sector, where I did mention this, where the main push is in the Zaporizhia front, with fighting reported at Stepove and Stepnohurst, with the Russian forces establish a strong foothold in the outskirts of Stepnohurst, in the south of Stepnohurst. As mentioned yesterday, Plavny is captured by the Russian forces already, and it's reflected in the reports of the RIBA, the pro-Russian source. They did update to say that they have captured. I didn't put the flag yesterday, so I put it today. So the geolocation of Russian forces of the high-rise district has allowed the Russians to have established a foothold again. This is the second time the Russians have taken this district. So they took it once and then they got pushed out by the Ukrainians, so they took it again. So let's see how this continue to develop in the future. And we go on to the last front line, the Kherson front. And before that, happy birthday to you if your birthday today. Press the like button, subscribe, and the frontline changes report is in the main channel. I'm now pondering whether to put it into the war channel entirely, which means the whole Ukraine war reporting, just like in 2023. Most of it is actually in the war channel. I'm thinking about doing the same thing again. Then the main channel will focus more on geopolitics, and of course I will do geopolitical news regarding Ukraine-Russia. So that means the Ukraine-Russia reporting on the main channel will be more towards the macro situation rather than the war situation. So this is something I'm thinking about, but let's see how this goes. Because the revenue is important. The main channel have doubled the subscribers of the war channel, so that means there is at least double the reach. So that's how YouTube works right now. It's nothing to do with the content. It's all about cloud, and it's very disappointing how YouTube went from the old days where content rules to now cloud rules, and it's unfortunate. It's definitely playing along with it's about WhatsApp. It's definitely playing along with boosting the mainstream media. There's some ploy, I think, because all the mainstream medias have very big channels, and when they do this kind of cloud thing, then the mainstream channels do have a lot more boost. But that's the information landscape it is today. Like I said, DP Open My channel got demonetized, and a lot of problems. I have created a new channel for DP Open Mic. The main reason is because, by my analysis, it's most likely because of Vaughn's Wagner flag behind him, but then he have put up the flag for years now. So that's the problem. You cannot predict this kind of thing where they never warn or mention this much earlier, then suddenly they strike the channel, and then you have so much content that is all having the same problem. So I have to create a new channel. If not, deleting a lot of videos doesn't make a lot of sense. So starting a new probably is much more safer, and then the original Open My channel, we just archive it. That's how I plan to do. But whatever it is, that's life as DPA. We are not favored by anybody. So because we don't side with anybody. Shellings reported at Tiekhinka, Mikhailske, and Antonivka. Otherwise, that's all from the Kherson front, and that's about it. So this is the summary for the day of 1294 for the 9th of September. So I need your support to support on Patreon. I have my gut feeling is saying that very bad things is going to happen to DPA YouTube soon. This is just my feeling. So if there's no support on the Patreon, or not enough support on the Patreon, there is not enough cushion, then DPA may eventually have to stop doing YouTube reporting entirely, and that's a real threat. So not I threatening you, I mean DPA is getting threatened. So so do consider, and you can also subscribe as a Patreon member, and just let me know what you want me to cover more of. It doesn't have to be Ukraine war related. So that because I'm only covering Ukraine war partly is because of commitment. I've done it in a long time, and also because it have the biggest viewership of any topic that I can do. So which is why this is just capitalism. You just go where the money is. That's all. But let's see how this goes. Not to hold you back anymore. So have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next update.